I didn't do a proper intro to this video. I actually wanted this to be a part of another video, but I'll have that linked below so you can watch that video and they'll explain why I did this video because I had a really slow week and I was filming for you guys and I wanted to show you what you can be doing when you do have slower days in the hospital. So let's get straight into the video. I hope you guys enjoy. So I'm going through some things that I normally do when I have a slower day, like the last 2 days. I figured that this would be great advice to someone who is in the medical field or planning to go into medical social work and wondering what can I do when I don't have patients but I'm still at work. So one of the things that I typically do is look up new policies, new laws, new updates to anything that pertains to my clientele more specifically, and then overall any updates in the laws that might affect my clients, like maybe with food stamps, and looking up laws regarding substance use and pregnancy and incarceration, and really just taking those opportunities to really educate myself and inform myself and whatever staff that I might need to. So for example, I'm currently in a bit of a pickle because the law has changed recently in the state of Missouri where we have to make children's division reports and calls on moms who are on MAT. Now, my clinic is mainly about MAT. We encourage it, we promote it, we educate our patients on it, we give out the prescriptions for Subutex and Suboxone, and then we also help now with Vivitrol postpartum, and then we meet with moms who are on methadone as well. And so for our clinic to encourage this and support it, and it's backed up by, so much data and so many trials over the last several years, for that to now be something that was turned into a positive thing and a strength of the family, of the mother, of the expecting mom to now have to make a children's division report because they've made the decision to help them in their recovery, to maintain their sobriety, to now have children's division kind of be invasive and impeding on such a special moment in their lives when they've done everything the right way or have done things the way that they were supposed to and have been compliant and have been in sobriety, and some of them for years, and to now call children's division to check in and do a home visit, that just doesn't seem right, and it's not okay in my book, especially because moms who aren't on or who are using substances like cannabis, for example, which is not legal in the state of Missouri, they don't necessarily have all of that intervention. Yes, we still have to do a report, but typically they don't take the report, like if they're in the state of Illinois, mom, or they just barely meet with them and they'll just follow up afterwards. But I just don't see why that is better than actually being on a prescription drug that is given to them by a clinic. I can see if they're abusing the substance or manipulating it or selling it, then that is a problem because it is a controlled substance. However, it doesn't warrant the intrusiveness of the state, in my opinion. I think it just continues to put a box on them and to categorize them and to be another form of discrimination. And my patient personally said, word to word, no matter what I do, it'll never be good enough. No matter how hard I try, it's never going to be enough. And so that breaks my heart because these moms are trying, and they are trying to improve their situation and do better and have a healthy pregnancy and a healthy lifestyle for themselves and their families and their baby. And then you do all of the right things, you do the things that they're telling you to do, you do the things that the data is telling you to do, and now you have children's division wanting to interfere and open the case. They say it's not an open case, but I mean, it's essentially opening a case if you accept the referral. So I'm taking those opportunities now to learn more about what the state's going to be doing, how they're going to be assessing our patients, what type of involvement they're going to be having, what type of resources they're going to have. So I've navigated that into contacting some of the management and the heads at the hospital and talking with my doctors and my staff at my clinic, and just having an open conversation about some of the concerns that I have, some of the concerns that they have. And me and my other coworker, who's also a social worker, reached out to the state, and now we're going to have someone come in. I was able to get her to come in August and present and meet with us and to explain the law to all of the staff at the medical staff at the hospital and at my clinic, and so that she's a person of contact, because I'm learning that if you're a person that's giving out new information, then the person or the people will come to you for more clarification or understanding, and I don't have all those answers, and I won't have all those answers. It's better just come from a direct person who's working for the state and for this program under the CARA Act, is what it's called, CARA. So I'm taking those opportunities now to learn about that, to figure out if we can get someone in. Like I said, Like I said, I was able to secure someone from the state to come in and speak with us regarding this issue so that our hospital can then decide how we're going to proceed moving forward. So I would suggest that doing something productive, figuring out new laws, new acts, new policies, new things that are going into place, things that might affect your potential population or clientele, your patients, and figure out ways that you can help, figure out ways that you might need to advocate for your patients like I have to do. It's actually like macro social work, but I mean, it's encompassing the whole social work. I'm very passionate about fairness and equality and being treated with dignity and respect, and that's part of our social work values. And so I'm going to fight for that for my patients because they are not aware that this law exists, and it's going to deter a lot of women from getting the help that they want and possibly need because they don't want a chosen division case because of the previous trauma or situations that happened maybe in the past. Another thing that you can do is actually just doing your research, just looking up random information, new updates, new cool things that might have been added to the field or to the population. It doesn't necessarily have to be pertaining to the law, like the previous example that I gave, but it can just be just normal education, just education about different social work positions, different social work fields, responsibilities, roles, things that you can be doing. You can also be looking up community resources, getting engaged with someone at another agency, communicating with them, figuring out ways to have a contact person or a point of contact, figuring out ways to collaborate and have collaboration between the two entities, and getting to know your community. So just take those opportunities to research different resources and how they work, and calling yourself to see how that process works, to see if your patients are experiencing the barriers that they may have addressed, or maybe they're not addressing any barriers, but then you find out they're being defeated or they're not really working hard. You're like, why is this? Let me call myself and see how long it takes for someone to answer the phone. Let's see if I leave a voicemail, how long it takes for someone to call me back, or if they call me back at all. So take those opportunities to put yourself in your patient's shoes when you give them resources that they'll be able to follow up with, that you take the time to make sure that you're also trying to initiate as if you were a patient. Now, obviously, you have to be very careful with this because you don't want to take up a person's time or a spot from an actual patient who might need resources or help. But obviously be intelligent when you're making these calls or reaching out, but it doesn't hurt to understand how your patients are experiencing the resources and how they're being followed up with and talked with. But obviously, let them know they're social work and you just wanted to see how the process worked, and you want more education on maybe a point of contact or maybe someone that you can follow up with if you are having trouble with your patients, connecting with them or whatever the case may be. So take the opportunity to get to know your community agencies, the resources that you are giving your patients. Make sure that they're actually resources that are helpful and useful and beneficial, and there's no barriers or challenges or gaps that are missing that they're not communicating with you because maybe they're too afraid to. Also, take this time to really understand, if you are in the medical field like I am, what certain terms are, what certain meanings are. Listen to the nurses, listen to the doctors, ask questions. I asked my doctors questions about, what does this mean? What does this do? Like, how does this medication work? How does this medication work with this? And how does this help this? And what chemical dependency looks like in this? And how does the baby, look like after labor and delivery? And so just inquire and be inquisitive, ask questions, connect with the people around you, learn more. It's actually fun to learn new terms and new meanings of things, and then being able to apply that to your work and understand what your patients are saying to you when they have concerns. You're like, oh, I've heard about that before, it's this, but let me make sure with the doctor or the nurse practitioner or the nurse to come in here and provide you with more education, because we only do things in our scope. Okay, yeah, so I think that's pretty much like all I'm going to talk about right now. What you guys can expect coming up in the next few videos as far as like social work content is, there's going to be some more work vlogs. There's going to be a work vlog regarding like how I get back into the groove of things when I'm on a vacation or we have a day off due to a holiday. There's going to be dealing with challenging patients, how to interact with them. There's going to be a video about case management in a sense. So I'm going to be sharing with you about how I write my notes and ways that I write, how my hospital writes, how we communicate back and forth in the hospital. So those social work videos will be coming up. If you guys have any further suggestions, I please ask that you write them down in the comments below. Don't be afraid to write them down in the comments, because I don't know what you guys want, and sometimes I run out of ideas sometimes, and I'm like, okay, I'm kind of burnt out on doing the same things. Like, let's get another sit down video so I can answer you guys' questions. So also I will be looking back at my old videos and compiling a list of questions and my responses and putting them all in one video. So that will be like a part 1, and then I'll kind of do this like every six to 9 months, to just do a recap on questions that you guys have asked, so that you can find them all in one spot. I appreciate you guys so much for watching the videos. I truly appreciate it. Please make sure that you're subscribed to the channel for more content, whether that's social work, lifestyle content, travel content. I do it all, and I have a lot of like traveling content coming up soon. And I'm also going to be talking to you guys eventually about my burnout. How am I doing in my job? How do I feel? Am I looking for another job? What is my next position hopefully going to be? So I'll be sharing with that in the upcoming months, and I hope that you guys are doing well. Make sure you turn on your notification. I do videos every Wednesday and every Saturday, and then certain months when I'm feeling a little extra, I'll do a third video on Mondays. So just be on the lookout for some of those bonus videos on Mondays, and I love you guys. Bye.
Fuck.